this.
Okay, we're live.
Should get our dings that we're good. Make sure that we're good. Do an audio check. Should be green. We'll give it a few minutes for people to get on. We'll be going live here in a second, folks. Well, technically we're live, but we'll be going into the content.
CPU is an Intel Pentium.
That's the G. It's the same one as this one. It's the 3258. Get a few more people on, and then we'll get into this wonderful build. I should tag AMD in this, see if they are bored. I'll ping Paul next too and see if anybody in the troll box wants to join.
Dan Matthewson, mining porn here.
Mining porn here, that's right. All right, I think we got a few on, don't we?
We have 22.
22 is enough. All right, folks, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So what we have here is nothing short of a miracle. We're able to get these back. Anybody that's been following, I brought these back from DC. We're back in the St. Louis area. These are the RX570. These are the 4 gig model. We were gonna do a 3OS recap for you on this. So what we did today is we took EthOS, I put together Windows 10, and we got the Simplemining Linux build here. So we got everything configured that way you don't have to see all that, and we can get straight to what the actual power outputs. Additionally, we have the BIOS modded, and what we've done is we've parsed it into the video feed here. So we're actually gonna show you exactly what we did to get this where we're at. So we're gonna bring up that actual Polaris editor right there on the screen live, show you the timings, show you the modifications on voltage, everything that we did to get this down to what I think is now the de facto standard if you're getting into mining right now. I got to give nothing but props to this setup here that we were able to achieve with this. I'll give some shout outs to some folks' videos that we looked at just to see, you know, that way we weren't reinventing the wheel, and then we took kind of their efforts and we kind of extended it by doing kind of a whole perturbation test on what what are some other settings that we can play with to see if we can even get the voltage down even a little further. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. First, let's make sure that you understand what's all in this. So we have a Corsair RM1000X. This is a gold power supply. That's more than enough for this build. You'll see why. 6 of the strict RX570s, the 4 gigs. So we got 6 in this, and we'll zoom down here in a minute to show you guys it. 6 normal risers. We got a Pro BTC. We had just one more of these left. The Pro BTC Revision 2 motherboard. The processor, and we have the stats up on the video too. The G3258 Intel processor, 4 gigs of memory. I think it's 4 or 8. We might have actually 8 in this. We'll see when we boot it up. But normal mining setup, basic case that we have, and then obviously we've got the kilowatt plugged in just to the power supply. You can kind of see the feed just plugged into just the power supply here. And we're going to start first with EthOS, then we'll move to Simplemining, and then we'll move to Windows 10. And you'll get to see all 3 running with it, and then seeing what the variation between the power and what the mega hash is. So let's get and make sure we're good to go on that. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and fire this thing up, and the screen over here will get zoomed in on it once it gets booted up, and that way you can see the details on it. I'm going to connect on this laptop to the stream so I can answer any of your questions while we have dead time. So we got EthOS booting up right now. And we'll get that camera repositioned for you guys can see the screen.
Sorry. I could have done that.
I got Jason over here helping out. You guys know, fellow BBTer. Get locked in here. I'll let you guys see kind of this. Make sure it's nice and crisp and clear for you guys. So we can see the 6 cards. These have the Adelphi memory. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but we'll go with it. We're going to do a show miner on this. This is EthOS 1.2.0. I think they're up to 1.2.1, but we'll check. And this is using Claymore's miner. Obviously, you can see the Claymore piece here, and we're letting it start to kind of spin up here. And then once it kind of gets settled for a second, we'll give it about a minute, and then I'll show you kind of the power usage of it. We're going to try to get through all the OSs pretty quick, and then I want to get to showing you how we got this to where it's at. We've been letting it run all day today. It's been rockstar solid. I did have some other timings, a little more aggressiveness that we backed down, and we'll go through that to where I think this is really stable. So I don't know if you can see that on the video screen, but this is about, right now it's about 167 mega hash, total 27.964 per card locked in. Get zoomed in a little further for you can see that. As you can see, again, 27.98, pretty locked in there right now, holding a solid 167, 168 mega hash on EthOS. Not much at all we had to configure with this. Pretty much got the BIOS modded, plugged the EthOS in, and it booted right up. No problems. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the power usage here. I'm gonna get zoomed in about right here on the chair, and then we'll make sure you guys can see the power usage. Now this is gonna kind of throw you off here. I think I got the camera a little crooked there, but we'll see that. You can see that 830 watts. Right there at 830, 828. Rockstar stable. I mean, we almost broke this. And technically, this was actually a little lower by about 10 or 12 on our testing when we had an external fan on it, where we didn't have to let this fan spin up. The fan stayed at about 10% when I had an external fan blowing on it, just like a normal box fan, and dropped it quite a bit. But crazy. We're talking 6 cards, almost 170 mega hash for 830 from the wall. And that is using a gold power supply. So that's using a Corsair RM series, not even like an AX series platinum or like the EVGA titanium power supply with more efficiency. That's using a gold power supply, and we're talking 830. So we're actually pretty impressed with that. And I'm going to show you the BIOS settings. We will get to those on how we achieve that. Because I've seen a lot of these 570s getting below that 940, somewhere around there, 940, 920. I mean, shaving off almost 100 additional watts of power adds up over the month period. So that's like having a 100-watt light bulb on all the time that you get to pull back out of there for these cards. So I never got connected to that live stream for I could see your questions. No fear, guys. I'm going to show you guys how to get there on this, because we did this with we took a couple of the other rigs and kind of mimicked what we did here, and I was able to pull down the Devil 13s that we had. That was holding right there at about 1160, and I was able to pull that all the way down to 940. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So you see EthOS, you see what it's running at right now. We're gonna go ahead and power that off, and we're gonna switch over to Simplemining, let it boot up and see, from a mega hash standpoint. EthOS, I think, is only running like 8.1 Claymore miner. So it's running an older version of Claymore, hence the 27 and some change on the hash rate. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back this down. We've been up for about 10 minutes. You see that's Rockstar stable. They're nice and cool. I mean, the cards hit about 70 Celsius there without an external fan on them. We'll let that power all the way off, and then I'm going to pull the drive, and then we're going to throw in Simplemining. I got that on a USB stick here. We'll throw the screen back up. I tried to get all this ready today for we could get straight into the point. I know some of you guys like the long live streams, but this is tactical. This one is going to be a tactical episode. I wanted to make sure that we got to it, got the information out to you guys, and then I'm going to look and see what else is going on. So now this is Simplemining. So this is going to boot up here in a second, and then we'll show you that. I'm going to zoom in on that screen, that way you guys can see Simplemining boot up. Now this is just a modified version of Ubuntu. I think the relevant information is over here in this corner. See if that's clear enough for you guys. Now this is going to be running Claymore version 9.3. So this is a little, this is a newer version of Claymore. We'll see that in the actual hash rate. And we'll take you through all 3 OSs, and then I'll go ahead and sprinkle in. We'll do Zcash with this too, just to show you guys some of how fast this is. And again, of course, we're going to post the BIOS for you guys. That way, if you do have these cards, you just download that BIOS and you're in business. And then here we go. 28 on the nose, 28.1. We're at 168 mega hash. We'll let that spin up for a second. And you'll see a little more with about 10 or 12 watts more, but I'll show you the watt meter after this. You can see we're about 62 Celsius. This will actually spin up to about 70, 72 Celsius with just the fans. I like keeping that external box fan on it, just because I have it in an area that we can kick up. We can have a box fan and have it, you know, running. But you know, holding solid at 28, 168 with this miner. We'll let this go for a second, and we'll show you the power on Simplemining and show you the difference between, which I think it really comes down to just the Claymore version that's out there. Because really between EthOS and Simplemining, there isn't a huge disparity with OS. This really comes down to just the Claymore version that's on there. Again, we're still holding real solid at 168 on this. Let's go ahead and get the camera over onto the power. Yeah, that's just thermal. That's thermal dropping here. We have one GPU. Hitting the keyboard. Oh, I hit the keyboard. I just killed it. I think I powered off one of the. Here, we're gonna reboot this. I stopped I killed the miner. I bumped the keyboard. We're gonna boot this back up, and I'm gonna show you the power on this one. Once it comes up, we'll let it come back up. I hit like a stop operation on the key on Simplemining with the keyboard. We're gonna get this booted back up. I'm gonna show you the power. So what we're looking at is this was about. You'll see it. It's about 850 with.
This is like around 835 for EthOS.
Somebody's saying Simpleminer is actually a 9.3. If you get into the Simpleminer, you can have an option in there. No, the memory on these, Jamie's asking the memory on these are the Delphis. I think it's like, yeah, I think it's a Delphi. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Is that the memory on the motherboard or the memory in the cards?
That's the memory on the cards. The memory on the motherboard's Corsair Ballistics.
Okay.
It's almost done booting. You can see the system holding. Now it's starting to boot up and get some juice.
$850.
Yeah, I should stable out about that. About 850. System RAM does not matter. So this was about 10 to 22, 25, somewhere around there, megahertz or watts more juice. So about 25 more watts with using Simpleminer with the same setup. And I think that has to do with the Claymore version, because Claymore 8.1 is on EthOS. Claymore 9.3 is what's being used by the Simpleminer. So, yeah, we're about 865. So that's almost 30. It's almost 30 watts. So we can zoom back out. We're gonna go ahead and shut this one down. And I'm gonna get Windows. I know I'm going through this quick. I'll let you guys see a stability piece of that. What we'll do is once we get it up, if you follow us on Twitter, I'll link you guys to where you guys can see this machine up. I'll put this back on probably EthOS just for you guys can see the machine running and the stability of it. Again, we had this running all day. and it was rockstar stable at the timings and the settings that we have. So we're real confident on the one that's in there now. We're gonna shut that part off. We're gonna take this out. So we got Simplemining on that, and then we're gonna switch over to the Windows drive, and we're gonna boot up Windows here. Now Windows lets me use a few more tricks with regards to running like the Sapphire Tricks program, the TRIXX. Which allows me to adjust the voltage a little more. So now this is Windows. We're gonna let this boot up. And I'm gonna link to how we got, there's a couple really good tutorials out there right now. CryptoMine did one. I think Big Daddy, I think this is his YouTube page. We'll put the links below, but bottom line, if you have a RX570 or 580, you can follow the tutorials that they already did. We're not going to go through it. They've already done it. They've done a great bang up job on it. But essentially, it's how to get this to run and see all your cards in Windows. It's pretty hot and fresh off the press. I think it's only a few days old from what their tutorial shows. The bottom line, that's how we essentially got the cards running very quickly in Windows. So we'll launch Sapphire Tricks. Get that running. And it's letting you already see the kind of fixed settings that we have running. And then we're going to launch Claymore 9.3 on this. And we'll let this get running here. So again, you already seen EthOS, you've seen Simplemining, and now you're going to see Windows, all with the same machines. 3 different drives. Trying to get that ready for you guys. 6 GPUs is going to start up here, and we'll show you the power usage on Windows, and then we'll play around with the settings. We'll see if we can break it. In Windows, let me get this kind of out of the way to the side. And with Windows version, you can see here, we're at 170 mega, 170.8. So a little more. It's the fastest so far of the group. So out of all of them, with this mod that we have on here, you're seeing 170, 170.8. It's spinning up. I think this gets to about 171, somewhere around there. So 170 mega hash, 28.4, almost 28 and a half, right? Wait till you guys see this power. This is just freaking insane. 170.7 mega hash. Here, let's zoom in on this power. And this is before we toy with it, even more.
So that's reading 883.
883.
Tilt it forward a little bit. There we go.
883 in Windows, running 170 mega hash sustained. I'm telling you guys, these things just knocked everything else off the top. These are the top. This is the top setup right now that I can find out there, and this is before I even start. Now I'm gonna mess around with the tricks, and we're gonna drop some even more. We're gonna drop some more power and keep stability. So a little faster, so when we define better, a little more wattage out of the gate. It's the most wattage out of both the Simplemining and EthOS. Both were lower wattage, but not as fast. Right? So EthOS was about 160, was it 164, 165, something like that?
167.
167, Simplemining.
168.7.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do here is I'm going to kick this down to, we'll take it 50 volts, see if we don't break it. We're going to take it all the way down to 100. Well, 103 is fine. What do we drop that power to? I'm not really looking at it.
861, 862.
862. So we're talking 860 watts of power usage in Windows. Here, we can zoom back out for a second.
Back on the TV.
Yeah. And we're sitting there at, dropped a little, we're starting to thermal throttle. I hear them spinning up a little faster. 1170, had a few go down to 26. They're, 70 something. There's all back up to 28. We're back up almost there. As they start to get a little warm, they'll slow down a little bit. This is where I usually have a fan on them to keep their temps down below 60 Celsius, and then those just stay solid at 170. Again, still holding. They became a little unstable. I'm kind of giving you guys a little insight. If we went down a little lower than this, like 135, I try to run it. I think about this. That drops the power down to 850, right around 850. This voltage is not stable. I had this running for about an hour, and it ended up just freezing up on me. So you got to keep it around -90 to -100 with the BIOS settings that we're going to show you guys. And you're talking 860 watts for 170 mega hash rig. I try to keep the rigs in the 60s Celsius by having an external fan. You tell them what memory that was.
You said Delphi, right?
Yeah, well, it's EL Adelphia or Aldelpha. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know either.
Yep, so still Rockstar stable. We'll zoom. Here, I'll just keep that there. That's fine. So the folks want to know which card it is. RX570. Ace of Strix. So now we show you guys that cool stuff. You guys want to see the BIOS editing? We're going to bring it up on the screen for you. And we're going to show you everything that we did to do on this BIOS. We're going to include the BIOS for you guys. We're actually going to put the actual ROM file out there for you guys to be able to download.
Do you want me to bring up the BIOS editor?
Elpida. All right, Elpida it is. That is the memory on these cards. So let's go ahead and bring up the editor. I'm going to walk you guys through exactly what we did. And through the magic of post-production and preparation, we're going to get this Polaris editor right in the middle of the screen.
I can scoot it somewhere. You want me to scoot it off to the side somewhere?
Oh no, that's fine. You can cover me up. They don't need to see my ugly mug. They want to see this. All right. So anybody that's used this, obviously when the machine that we have this in right now is not the card, but we have the ROM saved. So what we have loaded here is the original ROM on the RX570 that we're talking about here. Okay? So one of the very first things that I did is I went in and changed the memory on that 1750, and you change that to 2000. So we're going to do that right here for you. After that, we're going to not in the volts.
What do you mean? Oh.
Don't mind that one. That's a
Wait, I thought you said do it in the volts.
No, in the megahertz. It's 2000. Wrong cell. Don't mind him. We're still walking him through. Don't do
mind
that. Do not do that. Do not.
Don't mind the guy behind the curtain.
Yeah, don't mind the guy behind the curtain. So that's where you want the 2000 at. Okay? And then we're going to copy the 1500 straps
from the timings. Now there's two sets of timings on these 570s. We're copying the 1500 and we're copying over the 1625, over the 1750, and over the 2000 on both straps. And you need to copy each of the 1500, strap 1 and then the one below it. You do both sets? Yep.
All right.
1 and 2.
So we're taking 1500, we're copying over 1625, 1750, and 2000. All 3 straps on both sets. Okay, you got to do that. And do not copy the 1500 one from the top down to the bottom one. And then the last thing that we did, this is a little different than you've probably seen, is you go over to the GPU clock settings, and from 1088, you're going to start there. The one right below that is 1156. You're going to change that 1156
to 1090.
To 1090. You're going to step each field after that by 2 megahertz. So the next one after that, you're going to replace with 1092. The next one after that, you're going to replace with 1094. The next one after that, you're going to... Did you already do all these?
The next one after that is the last one. So after 1094 is the last one, which is different.
So you go through each one. 1092, you're replacing each one. You're going up by 2 increments. I'm going to make sure you're doing this one right, because this has to be pivotal.
I did it right.
Okay. And then the next one, the last one here, you got to go 1112. All right.
You missed.
So just do exactly what we're doing there.
And this was for the Asus Strix RX570 4 gigs.
Jamie, yes, you're correct. Strap 1, 1500 gets copied only to strap 1. 1500, 1625, 1750, 2000. Then you scroll down, copy again the second 1500 number, and copy that over the second series of the 1750, the 1625, the 1750, and the 2000. So on the GPU clocks, that last one, you want at 1112. So 1112. After that, you save that. You can call it a unicorn.rom, whatever. That is the one. So we're going to post this one out there for you guys. With this already done, if you have these cards. But here's the deal. So what we've done with all the 480s, the few 480 rigs that we still have over here in this studio, we went back through and changed the GPU. We kept the timings the way they were. The 1750 over the 2000, same as normal on the 480s. Also with the 580s. And on the memory, that one I moved to 2100 on most of the 480s I had. Not 2150 because I have some cards that are not stable at 2150, but all of them are always stable at 2100. And then we take the GPU settings the same way. You increment them by 2, starting with about 1100 on those things. So most of those 480s are like 1280, 1330 and the end setting. You want the end setting, the last setting on that GPU thing, you want to make sure that that's around like a 1100, 1110. You know, I personally don't take them below the 1100 series. You know, don't go to like 1035 or anything like that. You're not saving a lot on the power, and it actually kills the mega hash. So, you know, that 1112, 1114, somewhere around there is where you want to stair step that. That greatly reduces the power on these cards. It drops that below that sub 1000 level. No, these cards do not have the switchable BIOS. These do not have that. Like the the Red Devils have the switchable BIOS. I think some of the Sapphire Nitros, I think, have the switchable BIOS.
These ones do not.
These ones do not. So
We try to put all the settings up here. Again, I was going to try to not make this a huge, long live stream. Maybe we can answer some questions. I mean, this is the main thing I wanted to bring to you guys. This is on this particular card. If this format works, we're going to start to kind of continue to use this. If we're doing BIOS settings or mods and stuff, we'll try to have it, connected into the live stream. We did some stuff to bring that up and make sure that that's good for you guys. The Afterburner, it's to each their own. I mean, I like both Tricks and Afterburner. They both do their thing. I've had good luck with Tricks, but this thing's still rocking away in the background. So I'll open it up for some questions. You guys have any questions? And we'll do another proper. Does Tricks save your settings after you have a power failure? I don't think so. So that is an advantage on Afterburner. We don't use Windows on these machines, so I try to only use like EthOS or Simplemining.
It's just a lot easier to deal with.
It's just a lot easier to deal with, yes.
Windows likes to do random system updates and restarts and whatnot.
So these cards here were $189. I don't know if you put a big...
Oh, God. I wasn't prepared for that.
Oh, yeah. Somebody asked if we're going to do Z. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, I will. Thing's still rocking.
169?
169.5. It's because that voltage. If I take away that voltage, you go right back to 170.
I'm rethinking my purchase right now because of this.
Oh, we'll just
my 6 card 480s.
We'll just mod them. We'll get them down to 940. All right, so we're gonna do Zcash here.
I'll go ahead and zoom in on the screen.
Yeah, we'll bring it over to. So we're switching to Zcash. Yeah, if this video remotely goes viral on from the crypto scene, we could see a complete depletion of the 570s in the market right now. So we're going to try Zcash here. This is, for folks that wondering, this is Zcash Claymore, Zcash AMD GPU miner, version 12.4. Jamie, yes, Simplemining sees all 6 cards immediately.
Is the red text bad?
Yeah, it's saying that it's having an issue with GP3. But it might be because we just closed out and went right from one to the other. So pretty much everything in GP3 is just, it says it's performing, but it's just dumping its data. So normally you would not want to do that. What we're going to do here is we're going to
restart.
I'm going, and I don't know if I'm going straight from ETH to this, if it just had something ETH hadn't purged, or if it just doesn't like the very low settings here. I'm going to reset this back. I'm going to apply it, and I'm going to relaunch this to see if it just didn't like that undervolting from like a residual leftover from. So we're going to go back and see if we get rid of that red text. Angst, yes, we are on a 1,000-watt power supply right now. That's gold rated. 1,000 watt would be fine with these settings. You're in the 800s, so you're good.
Well, it's still there.
All right, we're going to reboot this and see if it just did not like. It might have just had a bad closure on GPU 3. Might have been working on some work and just hasn't purged it out of. Doing a quick reboot in Windows. I mean, no, not at all. I have a Windows 10 machine that we use to modify the BIOS. One of the only few cards I've ever bricked is when I was trying to update the BIOS in Linux. So I do all my BIOS updates in Windows. So it just seems the support for the software that's written for it is just better. So other than updating the BIOS, no, we usually use Linux. Oops, not that one.
You ruined it.
No, it should be fine. See if a reboot fixes it. Again, these settings were very tuned for ETH. We'll see how they set. I think a reboot to fix it. I haven't tried Zcash with it. We had it on this machine.
Share rejected.
Yeah, it doesn't like GP3 on something. Yeah, it might be just the settings are too low for Zcash, so we have to modify. Because I got the core way down. And I think Zcash cares about the core. I mean, Zcash right now on this rig is... I mean, if it wasn't rejecting that share, I mean, it's almost 1600 hash. We don't do a lot of Zcash mining, so I don't know if that's good or not. You guys can tell me. Most of my stuff's all ETH, ETC. Yeah, it's probably the core settings that we got on this. Right now with the power usage. I mean, we're using 700 watts of power right now on this 6-card rig.
Probably because that one card isn't running.
Yeah, so it's a little different setting. Yeah, we're only using 700 watts. Let's launch Tricks. Boom! Didn't like that. Yeah, not optimized for Zcash. So this BIOS is really modded just for ETH. Maybe we'll play around and try to make a separate BIOS for Zcash. I might do that on a set of cards that have switchable BIOSes. That might be actually a really good play for that. To have one set for ETH and then one set for Zcash, and depending which one you want to flip to, you can switch. No, I didn't trip the power supply. I mean, the power usage on this wasn't hardly anything. Even when I just did that, it still was in the 700s. Launch this. It should show it for you guys can see. I don't know if we can zoom in on that. Let them see this real quick.
Definitely zoom in on that.
That way they can see the details of each of the cards.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob, you can definitely reduce that. Just rewatch our video in the beginning or towards the middle of this, and you need to do that GPU clock adjustments that we did, and I think you'd bring that 960 down into the 800s. So right there. There's your wattage draw from the cards. And then obviously you got the powered risers use 4550 each, and then motherboard CPUs brought 110, 125, somewhere around there. Actually, I think it was 140. It's a little higher in this one for some reason. But that's what's getting you the sum total up to 850. Yeah, I can show.
There it is.
I'd call it kind of the de facto leader right now. Let me zoom back on that. We're back at 170. You know, it wasn't stable. We bumped them up to 2100, and they booted for a second, and it actually bumped this up to like 29.2, I think, and then they froze up after the second display. So yeah, they're not stable at all at 2100. At least these cards are not. Let me launch tricks. I don't think the settings held, but let's see. Tricks. Nope, it's still showing negative. You guys should be able to see the different OSs and the results. We tried to put that on the screen for you guys. You guys can see the outputs.
Is Windows sitting at 850 right now?
Windows right now is setting at 850.
And that's without any modifications to the voltage or anything?
That's without any modifications.
Just the base
Yeah.
BIOS mod. Okay.
So I'll take this down.
I'll modify this then.
That drops it. Not by much. Like 2.
So
It's 847.
Okay. 850 is fine. Who's gonna cry over 2 watts?
Yeah. It should apply to all of them. Card wide. The other big part down here is the VDDC is usually at like 1.1, 1.2, and it's sitting down there underneath 1 holding. See if it's stable there.
How low can you go?
Yeah, I think it actually freezes up after if I get to.
Maybe 200.
Drop the power wad pull down to. Here, let them see the power. So we're maxed out. It's still holding.
Lean it forward a little bit. There you go. 840.
$837 to $840 in Windows. That ain't bad. Ain't bad for 6 cards on 170 mega hash. Let's drop the wattage on the card, just the card draw, down to 66.2. Let's drop the mega hash a little bit. I mean, it's at 168. 169, so a couple mega hash difference. We'll see. I mean, I'll let it run. I'll keep it in Windows tonight and just see if it holds. And again, I don't have an external fan on these, and these things are holding about 70 Celsius right now. But you know, we'll let you guys look and report against it. Just, I would say, follow us on Twitter. If you don't, I mean, even if you don't have a Twitter account, go make one. Just follow us. I don't care. And I will put this machine up. I will put it on you know, well, we could leave it in Windows. We can leave it in, this actually shows time, right? And uptime. Yeah, so it shows uptime here. So we'll leave it running, and I'll post video with, you know, 20, 40, you know, 60 hours of it running to show you the stability of it. Yeah, we will do a video on Simpleminer. I will go a cradle to grave walkthrough on downloading it, setting it up on your memory stick, editing your address, because all you have to edit is one email address on there. You access Simpleminer through the two-factor authentication link it sends to that email that you register, and then going through the various configuration settings from the different miners that it allows you to use. We'll walk you guys through that. So when we do it, I'll do a proper video that's kind of out there, that's straight and to the point, you know, like 5-minute video, kind of like what we did for EthOS. But then we'll do a live stream just to kind of answer your guys' questions. We'll do it again, you know, as you know, we'll do kind of a live download, show everybody to do it. Because you know, no matter how well I try to get it edited, you know, you always miss things, and that way you guys can kind of keep us like, hey, I got a question with this. So if the live stream format works out for you guys, Scratch wanting to know is 840 achievable. Let's give him a live update. So it's been running for a minute.
Yeah, it's still hovering around 840.
Oh, I'd go 2-pack. So, yeah, I'd say it's achievable. Yes, somebody's wanting to know about a 7 GPU rig. Yes, I do want to do a 7 GPU rig just like this one. We're going to do a 570 for sure. You guys probably saw the feed. We have a whole crate of these cards, like 30 of these. So we're doing them for a different build. They're only going to be 6 card rigs and those like server style setups. We're doing a whole rack of those. Where you're going to be using this mod, obviously, to keep the wattage down. I think we're using 1000P2 EVGA 1000 watt platinum power supplies for those. And then I think some AX series power supplies from Corsair. But doing a 7, and you know, I've seen some videos out there with people using those expander risers. I tried to use a set, I couldn't get it to work, so I'm gonna play around, see if we can find the version that I've seen out there on the web, people using, and we're gonna see if we can do one of these kind of crazy, unorthodox, like 10 GPU builds. I'll probably play with it to see if I can get it to work first. And then we'll come back in with a live stream if we get it, and we'll do like a 10 GPU freaking monolith and see if that's in the realm of possible. But yeah, if you guys like the live streams, we'll keep the live streams going like that. But I do want to do one of those kind of bigger. You know, I got that oversized case that has room for 2 full 6-card rigs. We had our Devil 13s in it. We pulled those out, moved on to different cards. I want to do a Vegas setup when it comes out. I want to do the full, 6 GPU, 12 GPUs, single rig. If we can get one board to do that with those expanded risers, we're going to go crazy with it. So I'd like to get that one done too. So I'm hoping that AMD puts out that Vegas soon and we can get to it. But Pimp's made a new, I haven't, that's a word I haven't, there's 2 OSs I haven't touched in a while. Is Pimp and what was the other one back in the day? It was BAMT. BAMT. I think it was like basic something minor. Is that even around? I haven't seen if BAMT's still around, but I used to use the hell out of that in Litecoin mining. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll get that one together. You guys have any questions? We got like 50 people on here. Most of the settings are up in the corners here of what we've just went through on this stream. Obviously, this will be posted out. I'm going to try to keep this one to an hour. We got about 4 minutes left. If you guys got any questions, we'll throw them up there. We'll get them answered here. I'm looking at the chat. I know you guys got more questions. So I see a Pimp. We need to write these down. I want to get.
You want me to write it up on the board?
Yeah, let's write up on them. We got our whiteboard. We'll write them. So we're gonna try to do. I'll reach out to Pimp and see if I can get a. Yes, all this live stream gets uploaded right after the live stream stops. I make sure that it's hot pressed straight to YouTube right after it, so it'll be available. $240 volts. Yes. It is. It absolutely is. If you're going to do a bigger scale operation, 240 volts, switching over to that, you're going to use a lot less heat. It's a lot more efficient. But that's kind of, if you're going to do 1, 2, 3, even 4 or 5 rigs, that's about the 5th rig, then you start thinking, okay, am I going to start rerouting some power somewhere? 5 rigs, 2 rigs back in the 390 days would heat up an entire house. Like a 2,000 square foot house would be on fire with 2 390X rigs. Or the 290 was even great. 1 rig would do it on a 290. These rigs about 4 to 5. It'll blaze out any room. So then you start looking at trying to reduce heat. You can do that with going to 240 setup, a 240 volt setup, or you're needing like some kind of other air conditioning unit, something to bring down the temps. So if you're going to exceed over 4 rigs, you might want to start to look at maybe just having an electrician come out, run you a 30 amp 240 setup, and you'll see it a lot better. Let's see here. Other questions. We're going to put the ROM. So one of the questions was, where's the ROM? Is the flash going to be updated? Yes, we're going to put it in the description of this video when it gets posted. Right after the live stream cuts, it'll get posted. It'll be in the description. We're going to post it out there. Burst. I haven't messed with Burst. I've seen a few videos. There's a English dude that has a real good channel. I don't remember his name. I'll post it up there. It talks about Burst. I've seen that. I'm intrigued by it. We haven't done anything with Burst. These are 570s. With the RX580s, 750 strapping to 2000. And then I would take the GPU kind of in the same fashion. Stair step it from like a... right there at like a 1090, next step 1092, 1094, 1098, and then take it to like a 1112, just like we did on this one. This entire rig, this thing is $189 a card. You pay tax on that. I think a rig like this, like $1,900 maybe, if that. 2,000.
It sounds a little high.
Is that a little high?
Purchasing.
Yeah,
like
so
all the parts and stuff.
So it's 14. What did I spend out there?
I spent
$1,400 in cards, but I bought an extra 480X that was 187.
Okay.
So it was like $1,200 and some change for the cards.
$70.
$70. We'll run up the cost on here, and we usually post the components of the rig. I'll post the components and I'll post the price next to it on this one, and then you guys can sign up. Oh my God, the mineral oil mining rig. Next live stream, I'm going to show you the parts to that.
Oh no.
It's a disaster.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mine blocks. That's the burst guy, English dude. What else we got? We got we're about 25 seconds over. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up. Oh, you know what? Did we show? We didn't show them the. We'll have it in the poster. So there's gonna be another video that'll come after this one. That's gonna be kind of a post production. You know, I'll put some cool graphics and stuff up, and you'll get the close-ups of the rig there versus moving the camera rigging live stream because the stream quality kind of sucks anyways. But we'll do a post-produced video so you can see the kind of setup and the configuration that we have with the cables and all that kind of crap. We'll do that as a post-produced video. You'll see kind of the same headers. You know, I'll put some kind of probably clickbait type of thing, like, you know, sub 900 watts, 841. Don't worry, it didn't die. It's still running.
It just went to sleep.
It just went to sleep. That's Windows. That's why it scares me. I don't use Windows. It goes to sleep on me. I think the damn thing went off. We'll do a cool video with that. So we'll wrap this up. Look at the description. We'll have all the stuff out there, guys. Stay tuned. We'll try to have another one coming out. I'm also going to do another live stream. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. It's Mother's Day, and you know, gotta care of your mothers. Go out and get something for your mothers. So if we don't do one tomorrow, probably sometime during the week. I want to go through a Jax wallet too. I'll do it for one of the either iPhone or Samsung. It doesn't matter. But a lot of people ask questions with wallets. We'll go through that Jax wallet. I'll walk you guys through how to do the transfer in between coins with some of the built-in features with it, which are pretty cool. And we'll go through that. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you. We're gonna cut it, and you'll see this get posted on eBay. You'll see it get posted up on YouTube shortly after. I think it takes about 10 minutes for it to post-process, and then it'll be up there. All right, catch you guys soon.